have two very, very special guests with us, and super special, of course, is Aryaman, who's joining me now, and we also have Saburi Chopra, who's from the Tagore International, who's also joining me. I'm going to ask you first, Aryaman. We are talking about inclusion, we are talking about empowerment. What does empowerment mean to you?
Ma'am, according to me, empowerment is an idea wherein people with all kinds of disabilities are provided with equal opportunities. So, the way this COP26 summit that was held in November this year, and the way Israel's energy minister was denied entry because she was on a wheelchair and hence she could not enter the place because over there either the person had to walk or had to use the transport, and it was inaccessible for a person with wheelchair to use the transport or either to walk. So I think the world needs to realize that people who are differently abled have the right to participate in any event as much as a person has a right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Saburi,
Also,
I'm just
ma'am,
going to draw yeah, sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Aryaman.
also, ma'am, although the British ambassador to Israel had tweeted and he had said that he wants a summit next time to happen, which is welcoming for everyone. But I don't think world is ready right now to host such a summit. We need to do something more that is beyond words.
Sabri, I think remember many years back, I remember I was having a discussion, and there's this person called Mr. Javed, and he's fought very much about this whole rights. For example, special ramps to be created to make every area very accessible. It's happening. That change is somewhat happening. I see it in malls, I see it at the airport, at the railway stations, and so on. And I remember, he said to me, and that was very interesting for me, and it was very touching. He said, when you go to any public place and you see, and everyone, if someone asks you, why do you need to have a special facility for, say, a disabled, then, you should also ask them this question: why do you have a men toilet separately for men and toilet especially for women? Because, you understand the special needs, and everyone has a right. So when he's talking an example of this COP26 summit, which unfortunately brought out this whole this stark reality, which not many people understand. In your mind, in your experience, do you think things are changing slowly? This awareness is coming among the people in our country.
Yes, ma'am. I definitely think that there is awareness and things are changing slowly. Because, see, we as youth, we're said to have the power. We're said to, have this connected world through social media, and our voice reaches to millions. And I'll give you a little example. My school, Tagore International Vasant Vihar, has over 1,500 students. And when we, the campaign people, the change makers, when we spread the message, those 1,500 students talk to their 1,500 families. So that's the impact that just one school has created. And there are so many schools just in Delhi who are creating such an impact. So it starts with youth. And I think slowly and gradually there is a change.
There is a change and there's an awareness. But I mean, in your experience, do you think things are changing over here? Do you see people around you now more understanding and talking about inclusion? Because the government talks about Divyang, that don't make them out to be completely different from others. They're just like us. But do you see people around you changing their mindset?
Ma'am, to be frank, some people are changing their mindset, but there are many others who are yet to change their mindset because I, whenever I meet someone like who is a taxi driver, for example, they at first they'll ask me, "School जाते हो क्या? पढ़ाई करते हो क्या?" So, ma'am, such questions come as a surprise to me that how come they are of this mindset that a person who cannot see cannot study. So I think we need to
Hmm.
educate them also.
Yeah, and I wonder how that will happen because, sometimes, yes, you're right. And I mean, this kind of question doesn't make sense. I think they are the ones who really need help, right? Somebody, so when you meet people around you in your school, you're talking about to go international, or even when you go out maybe with your friends and family, and then you see people like Ariman around you, and have you ever experienced this? Have you ever seen people not understanding, or kind of taunting, or not showing patience? And doesn't that anger and upset you?
Definitely, I have been into so many social situations where they get this kind of pity, you know, and this pity is not even positive. I tell my some of my friends, or maybe some of the people I know, I tell them that I'm working with students who have intellectual and physical disabilities, and they go, why you working with them, whatever you do, they're just disabled. They cannot be a part of the mainstream environment anyway, so why are you doing this? Your efforts, they're a waste. And they think that they're not capable, and that is exactly what my project Saksham does not advocate. Saksham means capable. They're capable. Actually, they're
Yes,
special. They have more than us. I mean, what are we doing? This modern
absolutely. You're
world is
absolutely right.
full of insecurities, right? And what are we doing all of this for? What are we earning for happiness? And they're already happy, so they have more than us.
No, and you're so right. Because they face those challenges, they take that extra step to prove themselves, and therefore, in many ways, they're actually much, much better than us. And Ariman, the example of Suhas. He is the DM of Noida. That's the area where I come in from. And remember, he got a gold medal at the Paralympics. And
Yes,
he's
ma'am.
been an
Yes,
IS
ma'am.
topper. He's a DM today in Noida. I mean, that's the best example. Every time someone points
Yes,
a finger
ma'am.
at you, you just have to show them here his photograph, right?
And ma'am, not only that, I have made myself so capable that one of my um, relative, whenever he comes to meet me, he's like, give me updates on international happenings in the world. So I discuss with him, for I can go on discussing related to defense for hours and hours and hours. And my mother is like, she's fed up at times, and she's like, now it's enough. How much will you discuss? Uh, and she asks her brother, don't you get bored? And he's like, no, no, I'm enjoying. I feel like I feel good when I am discussing something with him, so
Yeah,
I
see,
feel
you
good.
you shamed people like us also. I guess you know more than all of us. But then that's very interesting. Somebody, again, somebody to come back to you. You have a special day for them. We talk about empowerment. We talk about inclusion. But there's a family problem also. Ariman is lucky, but there are many. I guess in smaller towns and villages, maybe for all you know, they're ostracized by their family. Have you also in your experience have to work in a situation where one of the people have come up to you and saying, I'm fine, my parents are fine, my children, my brothers and sisters are fine, but the relatives who come home, they try to shame us?
Actually, this has happened a lot of times. The thing is, with me and my Araman, our school has created an environment for all the children where we don't have to directly be a part of such issues, But outside the school environment, we have to interact with so many people on a daily basis. And so many people have told me that, you're working for such children, you're working for such people who are they're just not fine, Saburi, so stop treating them as they're normal. They're not normal. And that's what I tell them. As I just said, they're not normal, they're special. They have more than you do, right? So I think what the problem here is, the mentality of people needs to change. And the mentality will only change if we head start the process, if we
And the ones who
normalize
tell
this.
you,
There is, yes ma'am.
yeah, and the ones who tell, yes, and the ones who tell you this are actually not normal. They need special treatment. And you know what? I'm going to give the last word to you. What is it that you want to become when you grow up, and why?
Ma'am, I aspire to become an IS officer because I have
Oh, wow.
heard a lot about it, and I have interest in the current affairs, and I like to interact with people. I like to be around with many people, and I like to communicate with my fellow. So, ma'am,
Hmm.
I want to be an IS officer for
So,
this reason that it will give me a sense of satisfaction that I have achieved something in my life. Although, ma'am, in real, I wanted to go into defense when I was born, but since I can't go there anymore, so I want to experience something of that sort. So I have chosen to become an IS officer.